Good morning, student. I hope you all are fit and fine, and you all have done very well in your unit test also. Now, children, from today we are going to start the new chapter. The chapter name I have written on the board, that is gravitation. In the previous chapter 1, that is motion, we studied about the motion of an object in a straight line. And in the next chapter, we studied or we looked into the cause of motion. We learned that an external unbalanced force is always required to start a motion in a stationary body, to change the speed of the body, or to change the direction of motion of the body. Now, you have also seen that all the planets around the sun moves in a circular orbit where there is a direction of motion changes continuously. The change in direction must be due to an unbalanced force on each planet exerted by the sun. Similarly, moon also revolves around the earth in a circular orbit, and the direction of motion of the moon changes continuously. This must be due to unbalanced force on moon exerted by the earth. So in this chapter, we are going to deal that there is some forces which is acting between the two bodies. Now, Newton has seen that whenever you throw any object, it falls on the ground. It means that earth is exerting some force on that object which pulls the object towards it, and that's why any object you throw it in any way, ultimately it will fall on the earth. This force of attraction exerted by the earth is known as gravity, gravitational force. Now you consider take a thread and tie one stone in that thread and try to revolve it by holding it in your hand. What you will see, you will experience a force at your tip of the thumb. When you rotate that stone with the help of a string, some force will be exerted at your tip, and that force is called as centripetal force, because that force is exerted towards the center. So that force is called centripetal force, and due to this centripetal force, the stone tries to move around the circular orbit. As soon as you release that thread, what will happen? This stone will fly off tangentially. So here also you have seen that planets are revolving around the sun, and the force existing between the sun and planet is centripetal force that helps the planet to revolve around the sun continuously. Similarly, in the case of moon revolving around the earth, there also exists some centripetal force which helps the moon to revolve around the earth. So with the help of this, you can say that in the universe, every object attracts some other objects with the certain force, and that force of attraction between the two objects is known as gravitational force. So student, you know that gravitation is the phenomenon of attraction of any two objects in the universe. In the universe means if the object is on the earth, that or on the object is heavenly object, that is celestial bodies, or objects of any mass or size. You can say that force of attraction between any two objects in the universe is known as gravitation. On the basis of this, Newton has imposed a law that is called Newton's Universal Law of Gravitation. Now let us see what is Newton's Universal Law of Gravitation. Now see Newton's Universal Law of Gravitation. What does this law says? That every object in the universe, every object in the universe attract every other object, with the certain force, and that force is directly proportional to its product of mass and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Means in the universe every object attract every other object. Suppose this is an object A, this is an object B. There will be a force of attraction between these two objects, and that force of attraction will be what? Directly, suppose the mass is M A, here mass is MB, and the distance between them is R. Then you can say that force of attraction between them is the product of their masses MA into MB, and the force of attraction is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Means in the universe every other object attract each other, and that force of attraction is proportional to the product of masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. This is called Newton's Universal Law of Gravitation. Now we will see the mathematical calculation of this. Now children, as you know that as per Newton's Universal Law of Gravitation, I have already told you that every object in the universe attracts every other object with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between their center, and the direction of force is along the line joining the center of the two objects. This is known as Newton's universal law of gravitation. Now see how you will prove this mathematically. Let us see. Now, children, consider an object A having mass m1 and another object B having mass m2 are kept apart at a distance from the center, r from the center of the object. Now, as per Newton's universal law of gravitation, the certain force F is acting in between these two bodies, and that force is directly proportional to the product of their masses, and that force is also inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Now, combining equation 1 and 2, you can write here F is proportional to m1 into m2 upon r square. Now children, whenever we remove a proportionality sign, we use a constant term here. So here we will use a constant term F is equal to capital G into m1 into m2 upon r square, where G is called universal gravitational constant, where capital G is called universal gravitational constant, and this is the equation of Newton's universal law of gravitation. And one more thing you can remember, that this gravitational force is always attractive force between the two bodies. There is no repulsive force is acting between them. Newton always says that every object in the universe attract every other object. Means यूनिवर्स में एक वस्तु दूसरे वस्तु को कुछ बल से अपनी की ओर आकर्षित करता है. ये नहीं कि वो रिपल्सिव फोर्स, अट्रैक्शन फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन है, एंड दैट फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन इज हाउ मच, दैट इज डायरेक्टली डिपेंड्स अपॉन द masses of the two object, product of their masses of two object, and also the square of distance between them, inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. So this is the mathematical calculation of Newton's universal law of gravitation, where G is called gravitational constant, or you can also say that universal gravitational constant. Universal gravitational constant. Now student, as you have seen that as per Newton's universal law of gravitation, F is equal to capital G into m1 into m2 by r square. Now let us find out the unit and value of universal gravitational constant G. Means we have to find out what is the unit of this G and what is its value. Now by cross multiplication you can write F into r square, that is equal to G into m1 into m2, or you can write G is equal to F into r square upon m1 into m2. Means you know the unit of force is Newton, and r square means meter square, and here kg into kg. It means that the unit of capital G is Newton meter square per kg square. The unit of capital G is Newton meter square per kg square. Now if m1 is equal to m2 is equal to 1 kg each and the distance between them is 1 meter, then you can say that F is equal to G into m1 into m2 upon r square, that is F is equal to G into 1 upon 1 square, that is equal to F is equal to G. F equal to G. It means that universal gravitational constant is numerically equal to the gravitational force of attraction between two bodies, each of unit mass, kept at unit distance from each other. Means universal gravitational constant is numerically equal to the force of attraction between the two bodies having unit masses and kept at a unit distance between them. Now the value of capital G is, as per Henry Cavendish, the value is calculated that 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. The value of G is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. So this is the unit and value of universal gravitational constant. You can simply calculate the unit with the help of this formula only. You know that unit of force is Newton, area meter square, and mass kg into kg. So the unit of capital G is Newton meter square per kg square. And how you will define this universal gravitational constant? Universal gravitational constant is force of attraction between the two bodies having their masses, unit masses, which is kept at a unit distance between them. Or you can also say that the value of G does not depend upon the masses of two bodies and distance between the bodies and nature of medium separating the bodies, shape and size of the bodies, and nature of the bodies. That is why G is called universal gravitational constant. As the value of G is extremely small, therefore gravitational force between any two ordinary objects will be really weak. Now let us see what is the application or importance of universal law of gravitation. The first important is given the gravitational force of attraction of the earth. The gravitational force of attraction of the earth is responsible for binding all terrestrial objects on the earth. Means it is this gravitational force which makes the object to stable on the earth. Otherwise, if there is no gravitational force, then all objects will start flying in the space. So, due to this gravitational force of attraction of the earth is responsible for binding all the terrestrial objects to be on the earth. Second is, this gravitational force is also responsible for holding the atmosphere around the earth. Third is, it is also responsible for the rainfall and snowfall on the earth. Fourth is, it is this gravitational force which helps the moon to revolve around the earth on the account of gravitational pull of the earth on the moon. Next important is that planet revolving around the sun is also due to gravitational pull of the sun on the planet. And other important is that flowing of water in a river is also responsible by this gravitational force. And the prediction of solar and lunar eclipse made on the basis of this law always comes out to be true. So these are the certain application, you can say, or importance of universal gravitational constant. That is, gravitational force of attraction of the earth is responsible for binding all the terrestrial objects on the earth. Second, gravitational force is responsible for holding the atmosphere around the earth. Third, it is also responsible for the rainfall and snowfall on the earth. It is also responsible, moons revolve around the earth on the account of gravitational pull of earth on the moon. Planet revolve around the sun is also due to the gravitational pull of the sun on the planet. And also flowing of water in the river is also the importance of gravitational pull. Formation of lunar and solar eclipse also is another importance of universal law of gravitational pull. So I hope you all are able to understand what is gravitation and what is the Newton's universal law of gravitation. Now in the next class we will move to the further topics related to this. Till now, please go through this topic. I will be sending you a PDF file of this topic also for a notes. You can write it in your classwork copy. So children, be safe, stay at home and go through the topic which I have taught you today. Till then, goodbye. We will meet you again in the next class. Thank you. Have a nice day.